Hello, 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 everybody. This is your Nurse in the Know, Bahamia Ulysses. I'm glad that you guys can come in and join in my live. I am super, super, super excited today. I've got a guest that I have been working with for some time now. And not only do I have her as a guest, but I also have another special guest that I didn't tell you guys about because this kind of came in last minute and was great. So allow me to introduce them and kind of just get right into it. I see that, oh, here we go. Robin has joined. Vince Myers has joined also. Evolution She, thank you guys for coming. I'm super excited today. Thank you for just taking the time out of your Sunday. Today's interview session, kind of quote unquote, is something, like I said, that I've been looking forward to, I've been working towards, and the opportunity just kind of presented itself right on time, right? As much as we always try to plan things the way that we want to, it doesn't always work out that way. And luckily, this time it did. So I'm super excited, without further ado, to welcome two honorable guests for the hour. First is yoga guru, Miss Robin Downs. She is the founder of Yoga Flava. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about her when she gets in, but I'm going to invite her in shortly. Let me just start that process really quick. And so, yes. I want to introduce her father, who she'll be joining here with. There they go. Hi, everyone. How are you two?
Good. How are you?
How are you? I'm well. And we have Sergeant Major as our guest. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Wonderful. I'm so glad you guys could join us. I was just going into the intro and I thought, let me just add them in so we can get a nice picture and so everybody can know who I'm talking about. There we go. And just kind of introduce you guys and give you a little background before we get started. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Okay. So Miss Robin, you are the reason that this all started, really, because you reached out to me and I've been following you on Instagram for a while. And I'm not sure if everybody here knows who you are, but I just want to introduce yourself and your father, but give them a little bit of a background.
Thank you.
You are a yoga guru and you were the founder and have been practicing yoga for the past 25 years this October, correct?
24. I'm going to be celebrating 25 years in 2021.
On 2021.
So countdown.
Okay. So we're
I'm
almost
telling
there.
everybody it's going to be 25 years. I got to do something big. I got to
Absolutely.
get out there and let everybody know. So thank you for helping to count down and kick off to my 25th anniversary.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. And you have been the personal yogi or yoga instructor for a list of celebrity clients. And now recently your father, who you have started Silver Hair and Elder Care with. I just want to give everyone a backdrop. You do have a career in camera and media. You are an award-winning Emmy producer, basically a media maven. And part of your mission now is to help caregivers find their balance in their roles and not lose themselves in the process. That's something that we've talked about. And you do this by incorporating your yoga practice alongside your father. And I'm glad that you have joined us to kind of explain what that's about and a little bit about Sergeant Major William Downs. You are a retired United States Army veteran, drafted in 1957, and you served for 2 active duty years during the Cold War, and you were on a secret missile site in Cleveland, Ohio. So I first want to thank you for your service. We are truly indebted to you beyond measure that I don't think anybody really realizes. So thank you for that. But also, you are a retired school teacher for the past at George Westinghouse in Brooklyn, and you spent 25 years there where you taught electrical installation. And lastly, people may not know this about you, but you are also a winning photographer featured in the New York Times, and you are known as the Flash Bulb Kid. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a little while, but I just wanted to give everyone here just an idea of who we're interviewing with, who we're talking to today, and just, get right into it. So Robin, what is Yoga Flava for those of us who don't know what it is and what you do with your practice?
Well, I came to yoga because I was stressed out. Let's give Dad a minute.
Yes,
I came to yoga because I was stressed out. And you okay, Dad? Okay. I came to yoga because I was stressed out.
Yes.
I was going through a divorce. My mom was losing her battle to cancer. and I needed the tools to help me cope with stress. And when I first attended most of the yoga classes, they were all white in California. And I felt like I knew I needed it for myself. And when I went to India, it was actually the gurus in India that said, take the yoga practice and interpret it for your people. I was like, well, my people, I'm from the Boogie Down Bronx. My people got Flava.
Hey.
So at that time, people were just starting to use contemporary music with yoga. So just adding contemporary music, adding urban culture, and interpreting it in a way so that people of color could embrace the practice, Yoga Flava was born.
Awesome. I love that. And I just want to take a moment to read the comments. We've got a few people. Sergeant Major, we've got some people saying, thank you for your service. I wanted to let you know that they're very proud of you and want you to know that they are thankful as well.
Thank you.
Vince Meyer says, Yoga Flava 2021. I love this. They are super pumped about the 25th anniversary. I think it's going to be a big old party, if you ask me.
Well, that's what Yoga Flava is all about.
Exactly.
That's the party.
So, Robin, can you tell us a little bit about silver hair and elder care? So, how that was spawned from Yoga Flava?
Yes. Well, when I knew I was coming to a point where I even questioned Yoga Flava. I'm like, is that played? You know, is that like played? Am I dating myself? Really? And I knew a lot of people knew the brand. And then I was thinking, well, you know what? A lot of people are growing up with me.
Sure.
And maybe I need to embrace the silver because I will not be alone in this process.
Not at all.
And also embrace elder care because once again, I'm not going to be alone in this process. And I was a bit of a trailblazer with Yoga Flava. So I said, well, let me embrace the silver hair and elder care and be a trailblazer where it could be Yoga Flava Silva.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think one of the reasons, I love the whole concept, but one of the reasons that I thought this would be a really good platform for us is because I'm a geriatric care manager. And one of my big kind of pillars, I think everybody has their thing, right, about why they do what they do. One of my big things is that I started this practice really, of course, loving seniors, loving caring for the aging, but then also noticing that all of their caregivers were so burnt out. They were so overburdened and they just didn't take care of themselves. And one of the major things, if anything comes from all of this, I want to help caregivers understand and know is that even in their caregiving journey, they can incorporate small things that will help them give themselves the self-care they need and then also still be strong caregivers for their aging loved ones. So I thank you so much for even deciding to do this and also, you know, just carrying out the mission and then also bringing your father in on it. So that's the next part. I mean, how did you come up with doing Yoga Flava with Sergeant Major, your dad?
Well, my father, you know, well, you don't know. My
No.
father has always been an active person.
Okay.
And I feel that it's an interesting transition. I mean, even like I was transitioning into silver hair. My father was transitioning into going on the cruises, going camping. He was a big camper and his body wasn't up to the task anymore. But I knew that he enjoyed movement and being active. So I thought, let me introduce him to it. And I really didn't know how he would take to it. But putting on some music and having him move, he put on some salsa music and he'll show you some moves. He loves to move. So once again, that's where the flavor is. I had to ease him into the practice. So he felt he was at a party and I was showing him yoga moves. And that's kind of what I've done.
That's how you slid that in there.
Yoga Flava. I was like, try this, try that. All right, stretch like this, Dad. How does that feel? And even when I was telling him we were preparing for, you know, talking about yoga, he was like, well, what's going on with that? I said, that's what I've been doing with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you slid him in that you didn't,
yes.
I get it. Okay. Yes. All right. Look, whatever works. I love it. And so do you feel that this can help caregivers as well? Or do you feel like it's mainly for our elder that we're caring for? Because I wonder, you know, how we can get the yin and the yang from this.
Well, once again, I knew I wanted to do my yoga practice,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew I wanted to keep my father involved. So what better than to do my yoga practice with my father? You know, I'll take some time to do some advanced moves, and he could just watch and be
Okay.
enthused about it. And
Yeah.
it was interesting because even today we were out at the beach, and I was like, "Ooh, Dad, let's walk over to, you know, where the pavilion is." And he was like, "Oh, that's too far." So, you know, I was just like, well, let's just go to that benchmark right there.
There we go. There
And
we
then
go. I
let's
love
go
it.
over
I
there.
love it. I
And
love
the
it.
next thing he knew, he's like, oh, I did the whole thing. So,
Amazing.
yeah, just continuing to ease him
Mm-hmm.
into the practice and to encourage him. And how are you feeling after you did the walk today?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I love it. I love it. I'm just going to take a minute to read a couple comments. We've got a few people. They're talking about self-care, caring for the elder. They love it. Corky Gets Fit says, this is incredible. It's hard for me to imagine getting my dad to do yoga. Me too. But you know what? I think with Robin's help, we are going to be able to figure this out. I promise you guys.
I see I have to have a yoga Flava pamper party.
I think
Maybe on
so.
Zoom. That's how
We'll
I
love
do it.
Oh,
Pamper
okay. I
parties.
like that. I like that. We've got a lot in store for you guys. I think this is going to be great. She also said perhaps a little sneak approach with her dad might work with this. That'll be great.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very, very happy. I've got a lot of clapping hands. I've got a lot of smiley faces here. I know you can't see it, but I think everybody is really happy that you were able to incorporate your practice and your father into the program. So, Sergeant Major, I've got a couple questions for you if you'll indulge me.
I'll try.
Okay. First, I wanted to say, I want to ask, did you ever think that you would be a yoga practitioner, or did you ever even think about yoga before this all started?
Never.
Never. Honesty. I love that. Just honesty. And do you feel like it's had a positive impact in your life up to now?
Up to now.
Yeah. Good, good, good. And would you recommend the yoga lifestyle?
Yes.
You would. I love it. I love it. So that's the 2 thumbs up, I think, because I've practiced yoga for a little while, but I haven't been consistent. I'm going to be honest. It's been one of those things that, you know, when I feel the urge, I'll do it. And then somehow I forget about it. And then my body will kind of yell at me and say, hey, 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 you've got to get back into it. So what I'm hoping is that over the next couple, I would say, so we've decided to do this series for the month. Oh, I just want to read a couple more comments. We see moving and socializing. That's a really good benefit of yoga. That's another thing that I want to talk about that. But over the next 3 Sundays, we have Yoga Flava and Sergeant Major, who will be joining me for just a kind of an impromptu journey of elder care, silver hair and elder care. So next week, we'll go into some of the practices and kind of what you do with your father so that people can get an idea of what a yoga session looks like. Do you guys have any suggestions or comments about yoga with an elder or aging loved one that you might want to share with the audience at this time?
I would say definitely meet them where they are and definitely ease them into the practice versus, okay, you got to do this and you have to. And no, I never want to stress anybody to come to yoga class. Okay. And I think music is really important. Okay. You know, what type of music does your elder like to listen to? What type of music does your elder like to move to?
Yes.
And you know, even with that, I guess we could do that next week. You just start moving your shoulders and just start breathing. And here's something I just want to add right now. Everybody, no matter where you are, just let's inhale through our nose, take a big breath, and exhale through your mouth. You just been yoga flavor.
Oh, I love that. See how you're sneaky. Look, Sergeant Major, I see how she does it. She gets you to get into the practice and you don't even know what's going on. I love it. I've got a couple more comments I just want to say. We have Evolution She says, yoga is life. I agree. And would you say that it's a lifestyle or something that is like a sport that you practice? What do you think, Robin?
Well, just as we took a big breath right now, and that's a part of a yoga practice. Yeah, there's moves, there's things that I do all throughout the day, not just like, okay, now I'm going to sit on my mat and do a yoga practice.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's things that I do all throughout the day that consists of what a yoga practice is about, how we eat, when we eat, you know, just even just being out in sunshine. And like I said, taking a moment to take a deep breath.
True, true. I've got another couple comments. It seems like everybody's commenting in here, and I don't want to lose people and be rude. So I just want to say hello to Our Fitted Journey. Hi, thank you for coming. And then Vince Meyer says chair yoga. So that's something that we will probably be looking into for one of the practice sessions. I think that's a really good place to start. What do you think, Robin?
Most definitely. And that's
Okay.
exactly what Dad and I do. It's chair yoga. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Adway Worldwide says, thank you for introducing me to practice, Robin.
That's
a big
one
shout
of
out.
my students, and he's an elder caregiver. So how's your mom doing? How are you doing in your caregiving journey?
Our FTD journey. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that. Thank you. But yes, okay. I'm so glad that some of your practitioners and students can come in and say hello, because I think what we were discussing a while back was that everybody who's kind of in this journey of caregiving, at one point in time, you look at being a caregiver and say that, you know, this is not only me caregiving, but this is me kind of figuring out how I want to age and how I look at the aging process in general. So, and that's part of this whole cycle, right? This whole life cycle.
And I'd like to comment on that because a lot of my journey was also being able to be healthy and alive by the time I turned 60, and I turned 60 last month.
Yay.
And thank you. So now it's like, okay, what's my next thing to focus on? And the next thing that I'm realizing to focus on is to make sure that my memory stays in shape. That wasn't something I was thinking about before. So doing all the research to help my father maintain his memory and maybe improve his memory has made me think about doing that, of course, for myself. So whatever things I'm doing for him, I'm also doing for myself. And I love to set goals for myself. So my goal is to have the ability to retain my memory when I'm in my 80s.
I love
and
it.
beyond.
And that's a good point that you make. I work with a lot of caregivers and family members who have been affected by dementia and Alzheimer's, and the disease process is a lengthy one and can be very frustrating, challenging, and emotional. So that you said that right there, that's a big deal. I have a special place in my heart for caregivers who are caring for their loved ones who have been affected by dementia, just because I know the journey, and I've worked with a lot of people who have expressed their levels of frustration, but not really knowing how to help their loved ones and then also how to help themselves. So I think this will be a really good self-care series too, because part of this, I think, is also centering yourself in where you are. And really kind of getting to know yourself. Part of what we also talked about was you getting to know your dad as an adult, right? Through your practice. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, as I mentioned, I had no idea that Mr. Softy would be passing by. I had no idea.
I love it.
I had no idea that my father was featured in the New York Times when he was 17 years old as an award-winning photographer. I had no idea. All the stuff I've done in media, it really made it clear that I got it from my father. And even today, trying to figure out how to set up the camera, Dad was very active in that. So just encouraging him, you know, because, you know, when the cell phones came out, I was trying to get him to take pictures. At first, he was resistant, and he's getting more and more. I'm like, well, Dad, you're the photographer. And some of the footage that we shot on the beach today, I just gave him the camera. So tapping into who they have been and nurturing that to be a part of who they still are.
I love that. That's perfect. And Sergeant Major, I got a question for you. How do you feel like now yoga being a daily practice, do you think that it's something that you will ever stop doing, or is this a lifestyle for you?
It's a lifestyle for me.
I love it. I love this. This is great, guys. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I think we're doing pretty good. I like to kind of keep these a little on the shorter side because I know everybody's got stuff to do on their Sunday afternoon, and we're kind of getting to that point. But I do want to say a few things. First, I do want to thank everybody for showing up and listening and coming to the first of our June series. I will have to give this series a title name. What do you think, Robin?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, well, think about that because I think it's going to be not only influential, but it might be something that lasts a little longer than we expected.
Well, it could be Silver Hair and Elder Care with Nurse in the Know, or
I
Nurse
love
in the
it.
Know presents.
There we go. Okay, we're going to work on this, and I'm going to title it. We're going to get this. We're working out the kinks here, but this is my first live interview, so I am super excited. I'm sure you can tell. Like I just can't stop smiling. You guys were the best interviewees, and I just want to thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. I'm super excited about the next 3 episodes, but also letting everybody know that we will be back here this coming Sunday at 2 p.m. and we're going to discuss more of the caregiving role because I think that's something that, people have questions about and want to know how you as the yoga instructor and guru kind of take care of yourself and approach caregiving and your new role, like adapting to your new norm in life. So that's a really good thing that I think we'll get into next week. And I just want to also let people know that Robin will be presenting some of the poses that she uses with Dad. And also on Father's Day, we'll have something really special for you guys. So you don't want to miss that at all. Father's Day, we are so happy that you will be here with us, Sergeant Major, to celebrate. And hopefully everyone else who has the opportunity to show up will. And I want you to also go ahead and follow Yoga Flava TV on YouTube. You've got an awesome channel there. Really good stuff, Robin. I'm really, really excited about just being able to follow your practice in general because it doesn't, what I've learned and just kind of reading and learning about you is that you are not limited. Everything is kind of like a possibility, and yoga does have, certain, I guess, pillars or things that you have to do.
Yeah.
But you don't have to, prescribe to any one particular practice, would you say?
Well, yes. And also when I was even thinking about my channel in the 25 years, there's been different phases. My first phase with yoga was yoga for relaxation and meditation. Mm-hmm. And then came the sexy years, yoga for sensual healing. And now it's, Silver Hair and Elder Care. Who knows what else the future will hold. I've also done episodes for young boys. And for those of you who are dealing with the racial tension, we'd even speak about that. Right. I did a whole episode for young boys to be able to help them to center, especially when confronted with police altercations.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Robin. We haven't even talked about that, but we'll definitely address what's going on and how people can really help themselves in their own bubble or their own environment so that they can be effective for the collective. I think that's something we should really also talk about maybe next week. Okay. So again, just for everybody for coming, thank you so much. We will be back here this coming Sunday at 2 p.m. I see a couple more comments. We've got some flowers. We've got some bullseyes.
Thank you.
On the fly. Vince Myers also says boys to men. So I think that's very much part of what you're talking about. It's very much getting these young boys to a place where they can not only be young boys, but then also learn how to deal with their emotions as grown men.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's something that I think needs to be more widely expressed. So I see a few other people who have come in. We're almost wrapping up. I see Urbanomics, UN joined. Hi, thank you for coming. Geronimo 0705, thank you for joining. And Corky Gets Fit says, thank you for this. Looking forward to next Sunday. Attaway Worldwide says, thank you for this as well. I'm so grateful for all of you guys coming. Thank you for just taking the time to join us. I regularly will will post about caregiving, self-care, but also if you go to Yoga Flava, at Yoga Flava, and at Robin Downs, you'll find some great information as well. F3 Avenue says, thank you very much. Evolution, she says, thank you. I think everybody's really happy to have you guys on today. Thank you again so much for joining. I'm super pumped about next week. Do you guys have anything you want to say to our audience? They
For
really
everybody
love
showing
you.
up, thanks for the support. And as I was talking to you, Bahamia, you know, just even having Dad on today and keeping him engaged is just something I want to encourage other caregivers. You know, it could have just been me talking about my dad,
Sure.
but we've embraced him in the conversation.
I
So
love it. Yes.
embrace your elders in the conversation.
I love it. That's perfect. All right. Thank you so much again, Robin. I will see you next week. Sergeant Major, thank you again for taking the time to indulge in me. I appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.
Awesome. And so you guys have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you on Sunday.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care of
Bye-bye.
yourselves. Thank you.